Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman. Welcome to another series on hell, views of the underworld in ancient Near Eastern literature. And today we're going to be doing video 2 on the underworld of the Ugarit. And what's interesting is we were discussing the Canaanite mythology and different aspects of that. Today we're going to be looking into Baal's descent into the underworld and what was hell or the underworld to them, and Baal's resurrection and what that meant to the believers of the Canaanite theology. So first half of the Baal Epic is Baal fighting the sea, and the second half is Baal's fight with death. Baal, after he wins the sea and the battle with the sea, comes back and has a palace built for him, finally. And there was some debate on whether he should have a window in that palace or not. The window was put in, and it's kind of confusing because some pieces of the text are missing, whether this leads to death coming in through the window or whatnot. However, Baal wants to be the supreme of all. So he sends messengers to the underworld, and he says, don't approach death, but bow before him, adore him, and brag about me to the god of the underworld. And Coogan has an excellent translation on what they were told to do. Raise the mountain with your hands, the hill on top of your palms, then go down to the santuarium of the underworld. You will be counted among those who go down into the earth. Then head toward the midst of his city, the swamp, Muck his royal house, Phlegm the land of his inheritance. But divine powers, be on your guard. Don't approach Eris' son Death, lest he put you in his mouth like a lamb, crush you like a kid in his jaws. Sun, the god's torch, burns, the heavens shimmer under the sway of Eris' darling Death. 1,000 fields, 10,000 acres at each step. At Death's feet, bow down and adore him. Prostrate yourselves and worship him, and speak to Eris. Death, repeat to Eris, darling, the hero. Message from Baal the Conqueror, the words of the Conqueror of warriors. I have built my house of silver and my palace of gold. The text breaks off there, but it's really interesting. Here we find Death sending the messengers back, saying, pay me tribute, because you have killed Lotan. Lotan was a serpent, seven-headed serpent. So check that out. And Lotan, for some reason, as we've seen in other places of ancient Near Eastern literature, may need to be compensated for, because we knew in the story of Gilgamesh, where Enkidu kills the bull of heaven, and Ishtar and the gods are all upset, and so they require Enkidu's life for killing the bull of heaven. So here Baal slays the serpent, and it falls like robes around him. So death is described pretty in an interesting way, and it's exactly what death is. My appetite, Death says, my appetite is like that of a lioness, or the desire of a dolphin in the sea. My pole seizes the wild oxen, my well grabs the deer. When I have the appetite for an ass, I then eat with both of my hands. One lip to the earth, one lip to the heavens. He will stretch his tongue to the stars. Baal must enter inside him. He must go down into his mouth. Like an olive cake, the earth's produce, the fruit of trees. Baal the Conqueror became afraid. The rider of the clouds was terrified. Leave me to speak to Eris' son Death. Repeat to Eris' son the hero. Message from Baal the Conqueror, the word of Conqueror of warriors. Hail Eris' son Death. I am your servant. I'm yours forever. So he goes to the underworld. Before he goes, he sleeps with his sister Anit, who is seen here as some kind of fertility rite, 77 times. I believe it was 80 times. And then what's interesting is they have a son. In this translation of Coogan, it's called Lord, but in other translations, it's announced as Moshe, or as in Hebrew, it would be Moses today. So that is pretty interesting. And so Baal goes down. He battles with death. Baal either disappears or becomes consumed, and it's his sister's terribly upset about it. She goes to El to demand to tell El about what happened, and El is very upset about it. Cuts himself, comes off his throne, cuts himself, and it's gonna do something about it since nobody else is. She goes down and slices and dices death. She spreads death over the fields. However, because Baal is not there, there is no rain. So the sun, she goes down with the sun to retrieve Baal, and they both come back. And what's interesting is the rains come, and the drought stops. So here, death is very much described, and here the underworld is very much here. They believed it was under the earth, phlegm, and as I have read, I'll be posting a link to this beautiful text in the sidebar. There's many translations of it, and you can take a look at those interesting aspects and notice and compare how some of these texts repeat themselves. And when they do, different sections repeat themselves. Each is told a little bit differently. And this alone is probably one of the comebacks or replies to the documentary theory in biblical literature, where it seems things are pieced together. This is one thing where the writer of text from ancient Ugarit in Mesopotamia, I believe that's what it was. I'll post the book in the detail section. You can take a look at that. He proposes that this is a challenge to the documentary theory, where we know that this particular text was written by all one writer in this particular stone that he had translated. However, we're not sure if they're piecing together different stories of the Baal Epic or if it was all one epic. So it's very interesting. So the idea of Baal descending and coming back is there. The sun is there. The seven-headed dragon is there. The fertility goddess is there. The goddess of war is there. Baal on it mating and having a deity like Lord or God being performed from a virgin birth, named Moshe, is also interesting too. So hopefully that was interesting. And take care, friends. And remember, if everyone's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.